Greetings, Sanbonani, Dumelani, Abushini, Rorocha. Hello out there once again. It's your boy AKAY coming to you with the second segment of Surviving Varsity, how to survive tertiary. And hey, on this one it's actually a special one because I'm actually having someone who's going to be joining me as a co-host from now on, going forward. And her name is Peaches, the lady on my left hand side. And other than that, I think I'll still remember Taga Manega Tebogo, the nigga from the east.
Obvious.
So Manega, the last time we actually spoke about this, we were talking about the struggles that came with varsity, how you were coping with all those stuff. But then I actually want us to take a look at the finance side on this episode.
The finance side.
Yeah, finance side. From those NSFAS shoes, like how you were actually dealing with such issues, because I know we've seen students getting evicted from student outcomes because of NSFAS delays, students sleeping under the bridges. So like these are the things that I would actually like.
Let alone
us to
that,
jump
someone
in.
dying just this year over these, wasn't it like in Brown?
Yeah.
Where a man was killed by police because of all this, NSFAS delays and just students wanting to actually get their shit in order, So obviously I've seen Tekala Manje, it's been ever since I got to varsity, obviously. But they're interesting to me because I was never NSFAS never accredited me. So I was a cash student, so most of my friends would have to just stand in these long queues and wait for SMSs.
I was one of them. Man.
I know, obviously, So Nya's good to Buffett, baby. Stress, most of students, obviously, and just finances as a whole. It's a stress for students, So yeah, that's my take on it.
How would you say the relationship is between the university officials, the people actually working in these finance offices, whether you are an NSFAS student or a cash paying student? We know Konama attitude in this office in most cases. So I would actually like to find out from you for how was the relationship throughout this whole ordeal, and us I'm told back then. How can I put it? The relationship between them and the students. Was it a good one? Were they actually investing their time in assisting students, or they're just lacking there?
They were definitely lacking. I mean, we all have our opinions, but most of them, throughout the experience, they're just they don't have patience, Joe. You know what I mean? Patience, to just listen over to why situation. In Zokjela this year, I wanted to apply for where you're gonna just they pay for your registration,
the SRC
that SRC trust fund. And so I had to go to the offices and whatnot, and sure they don't have time to hear it because you in debt. They want their money from last year or whatever, but then it's just I'm almost done, can't we just set up something that will work? And they they don't really, sometimes you think they don't have children themselves, that go through things like this. So I don't know, I think it needs to get better, actually, that relationship between the student and the people that are actually in the way to either stop their studies, you know what I mean, or just actually give them a chance to get their shit together. I think I already made that so long, but yeah.
Do you have anything to ask?
I think we are actually conversating about the finances part and varsity and all that. So what's the solution? So what do you feel is the solution for students who are actually in that current situation?
I would just say the solution, first of all, is to be, I'm looking for this word, consistent, Yes, uzofika lapho, you're not going to get what you want. Now, you in your own depression or frustration state and you want things to go your way sharp. Sometimes we don't know what's happening on the other side. So I just think one thing I've seen Esebenza Nafonina, you'd pressure them, you know what I mean? You'd actually consistently be there, almost be in their face so that they remember.
Banking classes.
Yeah, somehow I feel yeah, you miss classes, you miss a lot of things because you need to be there, and there's another 1,000 people that are there, you know what I mean? But the other side of the coin is just like they probably also have a lot of work to do, considering like yeah, these funds, they do cover a lot of students, so they probably do have a lot of work, a lot of admin and whatsoever. But I think the timing, in fact, there must be like some sort of framework that is set, you know, to like only this time and this time, and like babize abantu. It mustn't just be like a thing of like you just go there. Obviously, you want your things done, but like babina some sort of schedule. I don't know, you know. That's one thing I can come up with right now, so that it will make it better. So they look at your situation, specifically your situation, and give it like their full attention.
Like one other thing I've also like realized or learned like when I was at Varsity regarding like this whole thing of NSFAS, because we actually know that NSFAS is unreliable, can be unreliable.
Definitely.
Delayed allowances, delayed student
Food.
yeah, like
Registration
Yeah.
fees too, hey?
so I think as students one of the things we should actually be doing is actually be like having like a plan B for all these things. As a student, I think once you at Varsity, you actually understand that you are here, you are actually preparing yourself for like life after tertiary. So you actually need to start making plans, meaning hustling businesses. You see, this guy actually sold weed at campus.
Yeah. A lot of it.
That's how he actually used to survive.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, like you're right, my
So
brother.
it's dope, you see. It's dope. So those are like some of the situations, bro. And like, bro, going back to like that first segment, there's actually a point we made about like this whole thing depression, bro. But then you actually didn't share with like the real talkers in terms of like how it was like in terms of like what actually went down, how you came back to the land of the living, man.
Yeah.
Dollar.
Okay.
So I'm gonna try to make this as short as possible, you know. But as I did mention in the previous episode, you know, the one that I was in with the first segment. So I mentioned what's at a point I was depressed, you know, and the depression actually came from losing a parent, you know what I mean? And I can imagine how many students actually like go through that. Because you go into varsity, everything is fine. Let's say, you know, maybe not fine, but like things are, you know, and then in that institution or in that path to getting your things together, you grow, you know, okay, fine, you lose a parent, this and that, and you just like feel like the world is on your shoulders, you know.
Yeah, on the way.
We're talking about I used to sell weed. Yeah, for sure, to make money on the side, you know. And obviously that was my hustle, but I ended up actually just like smoking more of my, you know,
Weed than selling it.
and we're not advocating selling weed, you know.
We are not
Just
for
a
that.
disclaimer. So it went from weed and it went to meth. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Obviously,
true.
you know people. I guess also your surroundings.
How was
my
that point
G.
in your life, bro? Like, what actually made you realize, like, yo, this is now fucked up? I actually need to, like, get my shit in order, bro.
I need to come back.
You know, it was crazy because it was like 8 months straight. You know, I didn't go to classes. I didn't do anything. I was literally just like most of the time just in my room. You know, just smoking, drinking. Okay, fine, going out at that point, but you want to be alone, young Tola. And I forgot what was the question again? I was just
Like,
thinking,
how you actually,
how I got
your
to
reckoning
being
point, like,
yeah,
yo.
where I'm like, so it just kicked in one time. Like, I won't lie, I'm close with my mother, né? So she's you know, you know that. So it just got to a point where I was like, yo, I'm fucking up everything. I'm told the marks are obviously like shit. Social life is shit. I think almost shit of myself because I'm just like not accepting of whatever situations are there. And so I literally just went back home because nakona bengingasayendlini. I mean, I'm in Auckland Park, Maranglala Life Force. So I just went home and I actually, you know, when they say like sometimes you do need to like cough shit out, you know, and so that's the point where it got there. I was like, you know what, who do I really trust? You know what I mean? Yes, I have these people in my life, so forth, so forth, so forth. But yeah, advice you want to any respect tayo and that I really value was that one person, you know what I mean? So I went to speak to her, and I don't know, I vented. That was like one of the first times I actually vented. You know what I mean? And yeah, there were advices that came with it, but there was also perspective of just like you look at yourself and you look at where you want to go, you look where you come from, you know, just that introspection of everything. And so, yeah, man, I had to, you know, man up and just be like, you know what, I'm done with this shit. And I was really done with the shit. I know there are people that struggle too, but to stop it, obviously, especially when Califitas at that time, and there's colors and there's what it's the devil's playground, you know. It is. So yeah, man, I realized it's like I'm bigger. I'm actually supposed to be greater than what I'm actually doing. You know?
So you're saying actually that
purpose,
that depression also can make students actually lack in their studies, and then by lacking in their studies, also lose the help from the financial institutions that actually help them.
I'm actually a victim of that, guys. By the way,
Yeah,
you know that because like around 2018, like after all that body and manega from staying at Sofa Town, being exposed to like this new lifestyle, drugs and everything, like bro, I won't lie, bro. I actually lost my funding through like some of that vibes. And like the things we are actually highlighting, wanting to be alone, shutting people off. I was like one of those and I was good at it, trust me. So like it got to that point, like I was like, no. This ain't on. Gotta do something about it. Actually talk to someone. And then I went to school, they were second. Think you recall that shit. So like those are some of the things, like speaking to people out there. You're not alone as students, because we do know like, hey, academic stress, yati press. Like I said on that first segment, for like we've seen students actually being pulled out of reses, the ambulance because of suicide attempts. I have friends that actually took their lives because of like academic stress and personal problems. So coming to like your academic stress and like your personal life, how do you balance, bro? How do you manage this? Because I know like there's these expectations from home, like yo, you're supposed to be passing distinctions. And then there's also social expectations. As my friend Manega, I'm gonna call you like yo Ziawa, maybe let's go. So how do you actually balance this?
I think like it also comes in experience. You know, you will never have everything figured out. We had to go through zone losing funding because of you just wanting to express yourself and so it's not like you don't have things in priority, like you know, but you just like you want experience. Plus, there's that hype with actually coming into varsity. Sure, it's slightly different, but you know, which there's that side that you wanna explore, all that partying, all that, you know, women, you know, everything. So, and it comes with drugs and everything. But I realized, well, for me, you know, I can really so much speak for myself, you know. So, prioritize what you need to do. You know what I mean? Like time is very valuable, you know. And I know we hear this a lot. And every time I'm it's like, it's almost like a no brainer. Like, you know, it's like I've heard that before. It's not, but it's true. It's true. You know how you look at your time, how you prioritize. I have like these deadlines, you know, like tests and assignments and whatnot. Yeah, sure, get that gap. And if you are open, say like they a month or however, some of us can't really study like weeks before, you know, like myself. I don't really but I'm trying to say to just prioritize and so on. Just know there's time to play. Yes, do go out. Yes, do go, especially if you're young. Do go, make your mistakes, you know. But also focus on the real reason why Uzeland. And it's just like getting your good grades and really being out of here, you know. So yeah, prioritize the fit.
It's a matter of priority.
Prioritize. I think we came in the same year. we pretty much did most of like things together, you know what I mean? Like a lot of it, you know. And from the time we actually started and to like now, how much more time do we really spend like seeing ngabangane, like the groups, you know, like how we really used to do on campus and all that. It decreased, you know what I mean? Like you get to like, you know, your own space, what you really need to do. Obviously, you don't get the influence. It's, you know, show me what's that statement? Show me your 5 friends and you do the 6th one that's the same or whatever. Something like that. But yeah.
And like with your narrating of like friendships, like as you can see me and you, our friendship actually began at Varsity, and there's actually a lot happening in it. So I actually like want to ask you like how do you think like friendships play a role in Varsity for like in future such things? Because like we at Varsity, this is a place where we actually supposed to be like networking, building like connections for the future. So like I would actually like to find out like what's your in fact, yeah guys, let me just put it like this. Because your perspective, young Tola, in terms of like college, whether it's college or tertiary, when it comes to friends, what role do they play?
First, you just mentioned the first role, you're making connections for the future. See, understand? If I'm gonna be an architect and I'm friends with a interior designer, that's all that at that point is a need in the friendship. Second, the discipline amongst the friendship is very important. Why are we friends? What are we aiming for? Are we really aiming to get out of this varsity and be the biggest people in the world? You know, like, show me your friends and I will tell you your future, basically. So that's very important. I've never actually been in like staying in varsity or anything like that. I've been like long distance. But even with that, you know, I had to have friends that actually are like, you know what, we need to do this. We need to be disciplined like this. This is where we're heading. So that's why it's very important for me. That's how it should be, you know.
Guys, y'all listening. So when like for you like what has like friendships played in your life, like in terms of like adjusting to this whole tertiary lifestyle, like the role friendships have had in this like your journey through your academic journey?
For me now, it's been, in fact, this part of networking, that has had like a big effect, or like what I've gotten most out of like, you know, these varsity college institution places where you basically be rubbing shoulders with people that are like in different professions and so on. And in so many ways they interlink, you know what I mean? It's just like sometimes a matter of, I don't know, I mentioned last time which I didn't really want to go to varsity, you know what I mean? And so I think hence that's really, yes, I'm focused on my school, you know, but mostly I've made great connections, you know what I mean? I've made like lifetime connections. Sure, only time will tell, but like as far as however far my goals are and how I don't want to say use, I'm actually thinking of a better word, but like just using your connection, your networking, not necessarily replacement. But yeah, so for me, it's really just like do network, perfect. So do go and meet people. Let it not just be about like we smoking weed or we doing music. Just like step out of your zone, you know. So and it balances with your academics if you think about it. Unale knowledge there when and you can apply it to. I mean, supply chain and logistics is what we do. So it's really just like it plays a role in many things, you know. A lot of people think it's just transport or they say that, but there's like management, there's procurement, there's marketing, there's knowledge isn't you can use them in so many ways. Just, you know, be open to knowing people. And it's not all about friends, you know, acquaintances, just like business partners. We've been friends, but there's business adventures that we, you know what I mean,
we explore together.
And look at what you're doing. I really like it, you know what I mean. It's been I never thought when we first met you would be thinking of podcasts.
Same here, I won't lie.
So to see you focus on something, it does inspire, you know what I mean. It does inspire one to be like, you know, I can actually do more than what I'm doing in school or whatever. I'm connected to this person, you know. Look at our setting. You doing something totally different. You doing your own thing. There's a cameraman. There's, you know. So no people. Let me not drag it further than that. Yeah.
So like as you've heard, networking is vital in this.
It is.
That's how you survive. I won't lie. Like this is like the place where you're supposed to actually be starting businesses, meeting new business connections for the future, like meeting new people. Like that's all it's all about, guys.
It's not all about what you know.
Do you have anything
Who
to
you
add
know?
on that?
Huh? Do I have?
Just a little comment there. It's like you want your relationships with everybody and anybody to actually feed and grow your brain. That's what you want. You need to be a plant, hey?
Essentially.
Yeah, get watered. We all need to get watered. And through another person, I see things differently. You see things differently. Together, flip. I'm learning a lot.
You know?
Yeah.
That is very true.
No, but
very true.
I want us to talk about this thing of like, there's this term, this statement of looks can be deceiving.
Looks can be deceiving.
That's varsity in most
What?
cases. People like, the people you meet in varsity.
Yeah.
Thaga, like, I actually like want you to share like those experiences because we are covered now. We have been in situations where we saw people chilling in front desks with like books highlighted and there, but then come tests and exams, 40%, my nigga. So like, have you ever like encountered like someone like that, like, and you actually thought like no moon to know, okay, this person might actually like, okay, help me with my studies, but when you get there, hey, it flopped.
I've been in that, you know, I've experienced that definitely, but it's crazy. Like, looks are really deceiving, especially in varsity, because it's even deeper than laba bazenzabo, you know, asking all the questions, you know, everything highlighted, what, but it's also just like the people. Like, I was at res in first year, man, and like you just see these other people that are just like looking like they this. But in actual reality, it's almost like on campus they this person, you know what I mean? And then like you get to meet them and stuff, and they're like totally different.
In what sense?
In a sense of like, the one guy I was thinking about, obviously I'm not gonna say his name, but but you know, we all judge. You know, we all say good to like don't judge, but like you have that, you know, you have that perspective of someone. Obviously, I'm mazi fully. So the portrayal na it was like, you know, the dressing, like you're so to cheese boy, young taller, and like, you know, you're so to like, you know what I mean. He has it all figured out. You know, like you don't know if he's being spoon fed or like he's working, but he's looking like. But then like Epsu. Like, you know, like it's anaz, like, you know, there's those also looks that are deceiving, you know what I mean? And then there are those, yes, that you travel to, the like A students, and they really talk so much bullshit also, like, especially right now that we're doing online classes.
Yeah, it's late. I think you saw on my status message the other day, I actually posted like a screen grab of the convo that was going down there. So it's late, like the wars between students, and I really you get to see a lot. Right? So, but as you were saying,
so you know, a lot of people go with the flow. Which like Chrissy last time was saying, stay in your lane.
Yeah,
I'm told.
Remember that.
Like as students, we want to try a lot of things. We're still young and whatnot, but. But just stay in your lane, bro. You know, like there's no need for you to act like if it's not like, you know what I mean? Just make it look like, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? So there's those looks that are deceiving, even girls, even, you know, girls. Hey, girls, you know, I love women, but women,
I feel free, my nigga. This is a free platform. That's the thing.
But you know, really, as in dot, you can never fully understand them.
Yeah.
Which is, I think that's where the fun is.
And I think that also contributes to academic stress. Them jolly as a rest.
You want to get to that point?
Okay. Because like now I'm like, bruh, I've also been in a situation like that where like it fucked with my academics.
I'm a fat and say
shit that went down.
So students actually fat and say?
Yeah, it's a norm. It's a norm among students that play.
Definitely. You know, I know some couples survive. Only the one person pays for accommodation,
The other one buys
and
food.
the other one just buys food with their money, and obviously whatever hustle they have on the side. But that's how some fat and set start.
So,
you know.
do you think
Mm.
like that's actually a good thing to be like having these things because like Nazos they are contributed to that. I think you recall around I think it was 2018 by Bram.
Mhm.
There was a chick who stayed by Southport who actually jumped. I think it was the
I
ninth
remember.
floor. Yeah, that story. And it was because of Joe losing this guy.
Mhm.
So
She committed suicide.
yeah. So how do you actually think when this thing actually plays a role, like relationships, like they actually affect your academic lives? This is like a matter of being a student. If you're a student, Mjolo nje, how do you cope with Mjolo and books?
Hey, are we even coping?
Good question. Sounds like we're just surviving, you know, just survival.
So how are y'all surviving? Because maybe out there right now, someone who's watching might actually be like going through like such things. Because man, I know people who have actually conceived kids at rest through Amaphat and said, and it has affected their schoolwork.
From my experience, from my personal experience, it has affected my studies. Actually, it has. From the breakup, me really loving this person, you know.
Yeah.
But again, for you to get back from that, remember you said you must balance the personal life and the school life. It goes back to why are you here? What brought you here? You can't be down because Nick don't love you no more, or Jessica.
They don't love
You
you
know?
no more.
You still focus. You know, you have a long way to go. You know, as bad as it sounds, at least bloom. Get that and be a bigger person, and then that person sees you somewhere.
Hey,
Just learn
it's
from it.
easier said.
Yeah.
But when applied, it's another
It's
story.
very hard. Yes, I know. It's
So
very
It
hard.
does take you to be, you know, to be ballsy about it. To
Yeah.
just like, you
Yeah.
know, be like, you know, fuck it. I actually need to do what I need to do. You know what I mean?
If I'm not mistaken, bro, you actually met your baby mama at Varsity.
Of course, my G.
Like, how was that experience for you? Like, her telling you that she's pregnant. Mzuzu, ke khose kayi, mtshana.
Hey, and there's this exam you just don't like.
You know what? That was the biggest question I had to answer. You know what I mean? In terms of, you mentioned conceiving, you know, girls conceiving and whatnot. But for myself, when it happened, we were actually dating for like, what, 2 years?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
there.
And the longest relationship I had been in at that time. You know what I mean?
Oh.
So, she fell pregnant, and then, you know, the whole thing just started like, you know, vomiting and whatnot. Because we were actually fat and setting,
Yeah,
by the
I
way.
still
Oh,
remember
you were
that.
fucking such
I used to
Fast
bump.
and setting,
My nigga, you didn't
you
even
know.
attend class. Like, this nigga used to
He
bang
was
class.
busy fucking sitting. Okay.
Just bodying being me. So it was just that thing of like, you know, I know Uguti, if I have a child, manje, definitely everything is gonna change.
Make you switch out.
Yes.
But I've always told myself, Uguti, I would never actually go through an abortion. And that question came.
My nigga,
And that question came, you know.
Yeah.
It definitely comes, you know. And more so it was directed to me like, what now? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I was just like, nah, fuck it. I can't imagine me not being born. Jesus, bro. So many people. I'm a blessing to this world, you know. You know, like it's
So how are you gonna deprive
yeah,
like the
so how
world?
can I deprive a life? You know what I mean? And so, yeah, man, I had the child, and I just had to step up.
So how are you coping? Like,
It sounds like, I was gonna say, Guti, it not cliche-ish, but it sometimes it sounds and it's like, yeah. When Mati Guti umntwana uyakhulisa ngithola. Because I had to stop, or not even stop, but I had to look at things different. You know what I
from a
mean?
new
Look at
perspective.
everything different. You know what I mean? Yes, that saying goes with like it's not only way in a man, but at the same
Someone
time,
else.
yeah, at the same time, I'm coping with it. I can't forget myself. I can't forget about myself. You know what I mean? How can I give to her? It's a daughter, by the way, beautiful baby, Uli Tabo. You know what? So, and I love her to death, by the way. So, it was that thing of like, I can't give to her if I can't give to myself. You know what I mean? I think many students they get lost in that thing. It's like, you know, we. Yes, we. Because mele ube. Like, get your shit together. You know what I mean? So even the finances came, because we also spoke about finances in this topic, you know. It goes back to, I had to just understand that selling weed wasn't really it no more. You know what I mean? But like, and at the same time, it was that thing of I'm losing my train of thought, but let me just make another point. I'll probably get back to that. But you need to balance your shit out. I can't stress this enough. You know what I mean? Like, give yourself time. You know what I mean? You'll get things into perspective, because most of the time you just get rushed with all this stress. Like, okay, all this is happening. I'm having a child. I'm still in school. I don't have money. People are paying for me to.
I think that's where like you actually like maybe that was like a breaking point for you in a way, in terms of like the depression part.
That came after the depression. Well, like kindly, yeah, because I just stopped smoking crystal. You know what I mean? I actually stopped smoking weed at like totally. You know what I mean? So hey, now this whole thing is about me, but I'm enjoying it. For me now, it was like, it happened just shortly after I stopped smoking meth. You know what I mean? Because as I said, it was for like 8 years, and so. Not 8 years, 8 months, yo. Wait, 8 months. So
you've been in Varsity for 8 years, yo?
No, that's what I'm trying to. That's what I'm trying to be like. No, wait, 8 months. You know, so almost, you know, a whole year. No, I'm saying like almost a whole year of smoking, and then the following year, you know what I mean? That's when I impregnated her, and so, you know, that's when the flower was like, you know, still getting its stems together. So then I knew, so I had to just like, it was another thing that motivated me to just snap out of it. Gamampela, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, like Gamampela. So she was also a blessing in that sense. So it's like, she gave me joy to really like look forward to something again. That's why I lit Habo, you know what I mean? Because depression, it's really not like, it's real, you know what I mean? And people really do have anxiety things like abantu abathatheli phansi. You know, we all try to look strong, you know what I mean? I think it also goes into looks are deceiving somehow. It's not all cynical. So but it's like you're going through a state, but you're trying to be so tough, you know what I mean? To a point where you just like bury yourself till you can't get out of it anymore. So sometimes you're doing a Leo push, and for me it was also just having all the time, you know what I mean?
And also that I'm understanding that your baby mama was also in Varsity by the time.
She was definitely in Varsity.
Okay, what
actually, for her it was also really difficult, you know what I mean? And somehow we do have it easier than when it comes to, you know what I mean? Motherhood is really something else. Yeah, like, so, yeah, for you, it was really tough, but like I had to be there because she didn't want to carry on with the studies while pregnant. Like, she pushed because she had like a year and a half type of thing, you know what I mean? And she just decided, you know what, I'm just gonna be at home, look after my baby, you know what I mean, just nurse myself, nurse my baby. And then while she was actually still pregnant, she actually picked up a job, you know what I mean? She picked up a job, and so that's how she was like kind of surviving. But it was really different for her. What I was saying was like Gubanzima, because her whole life had to stop, you know what I mean? Understand, Mina, yes, I really do now need to make time for them, for her, you know what I mean? There's my baby, for her too. And I need to have a hustle. I need to focus on my books and things like that. But she was so strong with like she didn't just chill, you know what I mean? She understood with it. So it gave me that thing. It's like I do need to save the bag, you know what I mean? And I think that's what helps, Buffet, to just don't give them more stress. And so in the beginning, I won't lie, I was like, I can be quite hard, you know what I mean, so to speak. So like I'm a Pisces, so like I sometimes like I get really emotional and I just but I realize it's like what, you just don't need to give them stress on top of that. They have all these hormones, like you learn so much. When they get
How
pregnant.
was the reaction from the parents and how like it truly affected
my
your
whole life
studies, my
story out
nigga?
here in the streets.
No, but
from both sides.
From both sides, it was
reaction from both sides.
because I know
it was a contrast
Okay.
of reactions. You know what I mean? I mentioned earlier, I would say, obviously I had been with this person for a little while, and so her mom got to know me. Now, corner, it wasn't all good, it just came with that stigma, like, he sells drugs, she didn't really, it wasn't really all formal. It was like, jealous friends. Her friends were jealous, but just jealous friends that knew her mom because she did like these focus group things. But I don't want to get too much into that. So it was different, like when they actually found out that like we're having a child and we're keeping it, you know what I mean? Obviously they wouldn't want it otherwise, nonetheless, but we're keeping it. My parents were very accepting. Well, my mother, since I'd lost my father, but even my grandparents, I think my mother had us or had me at a young age as well. So it was kind of like she was understanding. Mara, for me now personally, she wasn't playing. Like a lot of things had to change. You know what I mean? Like she didn't give me that like, okay, you young, you're having a baby, and then she was just like, you know what, it's your guys' baby. You know what I mean? Like yes, I'm here. Yes, I accept it. Like don't, you know what I mean? Plus me it's like, Manga mitisa. You know what I mean? My stepfather used to say, Manga mitisa la.
Says that every time. Man.
So for a very long time, that was the situation. It was like, you're gonna do what you need to do. You're gonna decide. You know what I mean? The only thing that I'm making you decide is if you're carrying on with school or not. But I'm not about to be like a mother to your baby. You know what I mean? So that was that reaction, that side. But they were very accepting of me mostly. And then on the other side, she had it hard, you know what I mean? She had it hard. She had her own things that she was going through. She had to go through, you know what I mean? It can be hard for Abazali by accept it. Like, you went to school and now you've been a baby, you know what I mean? And now
you get a diploma, get a bachelor, how a degree.
So you saying you're going to work, okay. But yeah, she had it different from me. Yeah, let me just say that.
But from all of that, we're trying to get to the positive side. What happened with her? She's still working.
She's still working, definitely.
So she literally quit Varsity.
Yeah, she actually hasn't really gone back to Varsity.
So you're saying that the fatten set can actually contribute to dropouts?
Definitely. Yeah. We mentioned that, like it, and besides even just that, it's like stress.
Yeah.
You give yourself so much time for the learner that you neglect a scholar, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And sometimes you drop out because course is missing you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Definitely.
You know what I mean? Because you're not focused, my G. So
prioritizing the wrong things.
Fatten set also does contribute to those things, But I think it doesn't necessarily like there's another. It's like another side of the same coin, like you don't have to drop out necessarily. Yes, for females, you have to put it on pause, you know what I mean? But you get to that point where you decide, it's like, do I want to jump back into it now and finish what I started, or do I want to just do this for now, you know what I mean? So it's nature, you know what I mean? It's just nature. When you're having fatten sets and you have a child, and nature takes its place, and you just have to adjust.
This deep stuff, man.
It
seems like, hey,
yeah,
like my nigga, we actually at your place, where you stay for like your duration at Varsity.
Okay.
Actually, even further than that. But yeah.
like, hey, so like what would you actually say like is like the perfect budget for a student, like a first time student who's actually going to stay at rest for the first time what I did? Like in terms of buying groceries, how you actually supposed to buy those groceries? Do you actually go out before buying groceries, or you start by doing your groceries? Like how have you been like balancing like that point, like because now you're independent? Awusana mama for mama ojewa ngobusika. You go to campus, you come back, you need to cook, and in order to do that you actually need groceries for that. So like how has that been for you? Like how have you been coping with that?
It's been a transition from when I started living, not even living by myself, but like just staying at res. Obviously, I don't stay in res now, but it's been a transition from food wasn't necessarily the priority. You know what I mean? Like Nakona, most of the time, Mautabanga, we'd be just eating out because you're always out. You know what I mean? But the balance comes in. I don't know. Things have been very different for me. Like my money flow, my entrepreneurial way of doing things. So I think it becomes. It depends. And why it depends because we people we all have like different things that we like to eat. Some people have a different diets. You know what I mean? Some people barely eat. Well, some people eat a lot is what I'm trying to say. But like there's many.
Thola umuntu apheka focus yonke la.
Yeah, uzibona zonke dog, and it's just like I know, yeah, but like it's just like differences of people, obviously. But it just depends on yourself. Like Mars would say, like food is a priority.
Like, what are the basic things like a student should actually have as food? Things like that this I actually need to have on my cupboard to actually like get through my day at school, like
or get through the week.
Yeah, or the month.
That's it. It's different because sometimes you khalela logo, sometimes you khalela logo. But like the basic needs, the basic things is just like shit. You want me naming items and shit now? Yeah. So obviously like your oil. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You need your meat. Like don't. Yeah, Johnny. But like it's these
Yes.
But
I heard something about noodles.
Noodles are definite, like when you want that quick snack on your way,
like cha-cha.
Yeah, like cha-cha, like fast eggs, like, milk. Shit, I love milk. And sadly, Papa Nebis in a man, like it's one of my favorite foods. You know what I mean? If oramas in it, like I'm black.
There's
I think there's that thing that all draws us to like a commonality of something, like how we grow up. You know what I mean? Like we have to like Sunday course namhlanje. I'm tall. Sometimes like you get excited, like yeah, like that's a necessity. Yeah, I mean I'm not really a fan of rice. You know what I mean? I barely eat that. But like such things, man, it's like
like the basic things. Like having things such as maize, rice, oil, noodles. Those are eggs. Like the necessities, eggs and cereals. Make sure hoko grocery list in your house. Coffee. Actually, coffee.
Definitely,
especially as a student.
Yeah.
So, yo, guys, get on into you. Other than that, guys, let's take a break. Yo, we're back on the break, and as we are about to conclude, like this segment, I would actually like to give my co-host like the chance to actually pull through with like the wrap-up question for this episode. So, peaches.
Yeah, can I be talking to who?
Tebogo.
Taga.
Keep tagging it out.
Taga, not Tebogo. Like the total opposite of your name. Like Tebogo being the good thing, the thanks.
I'm like both. Taga. You know what I mean? Just switch it up.
Yeah, that's
the balance. Cool. So I wanted to ask, what would you say to a matriculate who has to transition to the life of varsity? What is the one thing they should put in their head, or I don't know, like really, how should they transition from being a high school kid to now being a university student?
Because it's hard in most cases.
It is hard, and awekho maningi there are not many platforms that get you ready for that. You know, like you have these, what do you call them? Expos, or what is it?
NPOs.
They're like in high school, where like these varsity people come. They're like, you know,
Or they take you to Nazareth.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they tell you it's this and that.
Exhibitions.
But the one thing I would say, Mina, is know your why. You know, like just know why you doing this. Like you actually go into varsity, because like it's not a must for everyone to go to varsity. You know, but for those that are actually waiting to go into varsity and so forth, they should really just because there's so many pointers for me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't really have that one thing, so because like I've just experienced so many different, you know what I mean? So there's like a thing for each. It's been a roller coaster ride, and you never ready for all of it, but just take it a day at a time, you know what I mean? Just breathe in all this adrenaline, all this rush, because you're gonna come in hot and you're gonna think you're still in high school, you know, like still high school vibes, but umdala manje, you know what I mean? Like you actually in a different stage, so it requires a different you. So just know your why. You know what I mean? You're dropping quotes
like,
on
just
that.
to add on that, for like
So-
students who are actually looking to transition into this whole new tertiary lifestyle thing. Like as a result of like being at varsity, going through like all those things,
Yes.
we actually took initiatives as students to actually form like platforms for y'all to actually pull through. Once you feel like, yo, it's hard actually, you're adapting to this thing, I can't cope, I can't manage. There are organizations as We Fly Youth Development. They are actually focused on like helping out, students transition. I also have an NPO, it's called Unistart.
Yeah.
We actually do that. We help with applications, transitioning, mentorship to tutorship. So the help is there. You just gotta pull through. Like, just check our social media pages in most cases.
And it's been like what, 2 years, 3 years?
It's 2 years this year.
2 years this year.
So it's
And
there,
it's growing.
it's there. And like before I actually give you like the chance to actually wrap up, to clarify anything like you might actually want to say out there, maybe a question I might have missed, I would actually just like to remind the viewers out there to actually click that subscribe button, that notification button, and do leave a comment, because hey, they say critics make a show, so don't be afraid to leave those critics comments, because they motivate us to work. Other than that, Taga Manega, let me just give you that 2 minutes to actually like voice out like you anything Manega you might actually just want to like voice out regarding this.
Obviously we're talking all things varsity, ne? And so the one thing engifuna ukunishaya nayo nina abaseze varsity, nina enise varsity, or nina nicabanga ukubuyela varsity, it's not all about the books, yo. It's not all about your academics. Like, it's just it makes more sense, even more bigger today's economy. Just look at bigger around, and so like it's hard to find jobs. You know what I mean? It's hard to just survive out here. So just be a. I'm very deep. Like I
Talk, my brother. Talk, my brother.
I just have this thing like, I wanted to say, Guti, just be human. Umuntu, you're a flower. You are capable of so many things. You can really do so many things. Just step out of your fear. Yeah, it's that actually. Fear. Coming into this place, being in this place, you get faced with a lot of things, and uyasaba ukuzama ezinye izinto because you want to play it safe, but just do more than school. Just try to learn as umuntu nje, just outside of school, just outside of varsity. Teach yourself new things, meet new people, get perspectives. It's not all about school, and so yeah, don't look to just get your qualification and just be a 9 to 5, motherfucker. Nothing bad about it, but you know, you just hold your own. Hold your own. Hold your
Preach,
own.
my nigga.
Hold your own.
Yeah, nah. Thanks for those ways. Thanks. I hope as the community there, the real talkers, y'all are listening and y'all are going to actually use some of this to actually better like the lives of your kids, to actually prepare them for varsity if you're actually having like the young ones there. So
and you'll never have all the answers. You learning also as a mom.
So you just gotta know, do you like
stick in your lane?
Exactly. Other than that, do you have anything to add on?
Tebogo, okay, Real Talk with AKAY.
Thank you for having me.
Like, it's been an honor, guys.
Subscribe.
Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and do follow us on social media. On my Facebook page, it's called Real Talk with AKAY. My Instagram handle is @ShadyAK. You can just search Real Talk with AKAY. You'll find me there. It's Akani. And Twitter, it's ShadyAK47. Yeah, I'm everywhere.
Boo, boo, boo.
So like the shots have been fired. You heard it. We were talking about real issues that actually have real impact.